You working on any projects you want to share?
Yeah, no, I'm currently building up uh, the MVP, right? On a progressive web app. Like previously, our MVP we tested on was
Well, what's the project called? Let's start from the beginning.
oh it's is we don't even have a name for that project. It's basically a personal budget tracker.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
How many
budget
people
track.
are working on it? Like it's you and how many people?
Me and another co-founder based in Singapore. I think
Nice.
we did like 40,000 in the first 30 days. So now we are developing a web app. That's about it.
40,000 what?
US dollars. Mm,
Oh, for a personal
MRR.
budgeting app?
Yeah.
That's interesting. How'd you launch it? That's such a great, for a $40,000 project, you don't have a name for it. That sounds pretty
We,
unbelievable.
we pick some random name, right? Like, yeah, we,
That's
yeah. But more importantly, it's we just validated it with like Google Sheets and like Look Studio taped together.
okay.
And yeah, once we launched it, we realized like, oh, there was a demand. Then now we are like, collaborating with an indie hacker on X to really develop a PWA to be able to serve our customer better.
That's interesting, bro. It doesn't sound real, to be completely honest with you. You just launched and you're making $40,000 and then you're testing it with a progressive web app. Like it sounds very like the story like doesn't sound. I don't know. There's something I'm not getting about it. But like
uh,
what's if you're making like did you spend all the money on advertising or like
yeah,
how?
we spent about $18,000 on advertising.
Okay, that makes
Mm,
more sense. So you spent
yeah,
$18,000 on advertising and you
yeah,
got whatever 40,000 people to down, like I mean whatever that equates to, right? Like what is
yeah.
it per month?
It's about $11 ARPU. So,
So
but
let's say four
we
thousand
have
people downloaded it, and out of those 4,000 did all of them renew or what's going on?
yeah, yeah, we talked to them and most of them is like, hey man, we want an app, not a Google Sheet. And we told them like, okay, so we give them a refund, right? For those who churn or those who want to cancel. But more importantly, it's because this is the first time like, I'm stepping into the SaaS world. So, we want to quickly validate that the product using Google Sheets.
Well, let's
Yeah.
say, from the numbers alone, I'm saying you're doing a great job. So like definitely post more on the community. We'd love to hear like this story unfold,
Yeah. So it's
and that would be great. Do you have any questions you want to open up for the community?
Yeah, I do like right now because we build an MVP, the PWA, right? So how do we integrate like an onboarding and we're not we realize like we don't even have a Stripe payment built in or custom Stripe payment, right? So how can we do like a onboarding with a paywall, then link to the MVP and they can download onto that home screen save as icon. I do not know how the whole flow is. So now this is a question that I'll love to like,
It's
ask
like
this group to help.
so let me reiterate the question just so everybody understands. So you
Yeah.
want to know how to onboard them in terms of like instructions or how to onboard them in terms of what exactly about onboarding are you not
Like, is
grasping?
there an existing software out there that allows us to create onboarding that we could, you know, link it to a paywall or we have to custom build everything or custom code everything,
Got it.
right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to come? Thank you everybody for joining. Welcome Joshua, my man Josh, Jay-Z, Alexander, welcome. David, always a pleasure to see you, buddy. Nihal, Timmy, Umair, thank you everybody for joining. Do you guys have an answer for Jared? He's looking for like a one-click onboarding kind of Stripe payment situation. Anybody got any suggestions?
Joined a little late, so I'm gonna hold off on this. I didn't get the whole
Looking
use
good,
case
bro.
yet.
The haircut's 10 out of
Hey
10.
man, I got to get serious.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna hold off on this one. I didn't get to hear the whole thing, so
I guess custom code is the only option. There's no shortcut for build the paywalls to. You have to build it out, I guess.
Yeah. Good to see you, Nihal. What's going on? Are you building
Yeah,
anything you want to share a project?
yeah, and I already got a feedback from you. Thanks for that. From there,
Which one was yours?
yeah,
Yours.
but I'm building an alternative tool to scribe Tango, something similar to it.
Okay.
It's called Snap, ASNAP.in.
Mm-hmm.
So it does typically what scribe. You just a Chrome extension. You click on it. You do
Mm-hmm.
the steps. Create automatically SOPs, knowledge base, internal knowledge base, and all those steps.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't launched the pricing yet. So we have around nearly 180 signups organically. So
Okay.
driving completely through organic on SEO and programmatic SEO, something I'm trying on, and doing a lot of built-in public stuff and Reddit community.
So
But
remind me, it's a content generation thing?
it's a step-by-step guide generator.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah,
You also
yeah.
said, yeah. I think
Mhm.
after your feedback, I changed the positioning. I think it's working out well.
Nice. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Do you have any questions for the community you want to open up?
Yeah, but again, I've got so much signups, but I don't know
Yeah.
how to convert them, nurture them. I didn't set up any nurturing sequence or anything on that, right?
Mm.
We had a lot of free trials, but how do you have any nurture sequence, any best practices to follow? I would like to learn something from that part.
Great question. Anybody want to jump in? Help our friend Nihal with the nurturing sequences that worked out for you?
yeah, Nihal, for this one, I'd follow the two guys who are making Senja on Twitter. They kind of outlined this. They had this issue with like customers signing up and they're not using it. So they're literally hand holding them from sign. It's the Senja is the review, like it gets reviews from people. So they have the whole thing where they give you a test review with three different people already there. It hand holds you through every single process until you're like at step one and ready to integrate into your product. So like that onboarding, kind of like guiding the user through, that's also something I need to focus on. That's key. You need to get them, you need to really guide and handhold them through everything, keep motivating them to go through the process. And there's a
That's
lot of
great,
practice
bro.
ways to do that.
Can you share that resource, Josh, in the
Let me
community?
his Twitter is amazing. He really goes into depth of how they tackle this problem specifically. So I'm putting that in the Zoom chat real quick.
That's awesome. Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
And
Yep,
how
yep,
about
yep.
you, bro? How's My Forever Books coming along?
Dude, I just quit my job 2 hours ago. So
Congratulations, bro.
so it's all in now. Cushy software engineering, American salary, software engineering job, completely, big paychecks eviscerated.
Yeah,
I'm going full in now. It's
amazing.
time. Just too much to do. I got too much belief in it. I don't care about my job anymore. I know that I can barely work 30 minutes on my job, but for my favorite books, I can go 12 hours straight. If I can do that much and work that hard, what can I get done in a month, 2 months, 3 months, man? So I'm
Yeah,
getting after it. It's starting to make sales, dude. I'm getting random organic sales. Just got a sale
nice.
from England the other day. Got a sale from Canada. It's international now. It's just a
Hell
little bit
yeah.
here, but I think I can hit $500 for September. Dude, just feeling like a little
Mr.
scared.
Worldwide over here. I
Yeah,
love it.
Mr. Worldwide, man, in Miami, but a little
Yeah,
scared, probably if I'm being honest. But I honestly kind of popped in my head yesterday. I gave it zero thought. I was like, this is what my heart's telling me. I'm gonna go after it. So in terms of like the product itself, technically, it's in a sound spot now. There's like no bugs. iMessage, WhatsApp, Android, and GroupMe all work well. So it's like at a good position now. Now really just have to focus on the marketing and the SEO. And I think we talked about the virality factor with it.
yeah.
Um, I'm getting social proof. I'm working on the discount codes right now so I can comp people and get reviews and hit a lot of people up and just keep getting that social proof and making it the
Are you
process.
sending gifts out or not yet?
I will. So I'm implementing like I have my Stripe integration is completely custom. So I have to implement the whole coupon code stuff. So once I'm about to finish that programming wise, I'm going to start sending out like to customers who already bought something, customers who left a review, and then people who I know personally, I'm just going to give them 100% off. Hey, you do this, take 100% off, just leave a review and a picture after.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a good place to start. And then once that social proof starts kicking in, I would also send to like influencers ready-made books, you know,
Yeah.
like go on their Instagram, get like whatever vacation something they have, find the comments. I don't know, like you got to be creative with it. But
Yeah, it's like open ended, which is like your teacher used to tell you can write whatever you want. It was almost like harder in a way, but also there's also so many different opportunities. So it's like the kind of same thing here. So that's pretty much the goal right now. I was gonna say one more thing. Oh, I started outsourcing a little bit of work. I said the Pinterest stuff, outsourced it to a lady. There's some back and forth that we had to do until we got to a spot that I kind of liked it. But she did eventually did a good job. I have pins scheduled up into like the middle of October. And I hope to continue like fostering that relationship. I kind of realize you have to build with somebody. If you want them to kind of do like understand the image that you want to put out. So that's I think I've been getting some traffic now from Pinterest, which I think is going to be effective here. And I have also all types of other little ideas and stuff to hit, but now I can go full in. So I'm gonna be in front of my computer like crazy. Beach computer.
I love it, bro. Do you have any questions for the community? You want to open up?
Yeah, no, number one, thanks guys for listening. So right now, I got on some different requests on messaging services. Right now it supports iMessage, WhatsApp, Android, and like GroupMe is like really niche. I don't know why I have that in there, honestly. Is there anything else that people kind of have on top of their head? Maybe if like they were like a potential customer, what they would want to
Let me
see?
just recap your product for people
Yeah.
who don't know about it. But My Forever Books basically is like a book you can print. Or do you want to pitch it, Josh?
Yeah, it just real quick. It literally the elevator pitch is that it turns your text messages and pictures into a printed book. So, first thing that maybe pops in my head is like anniversary gifts, family vacations, remembering a loved one, long distance pen pals.
Yeah, so it's
So
text messages and pictures, so you can
and
kind of
text
tell the
messages and pictures.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you get a printed book in the mail that you flip through. So it has it printed out. So it's, kind of a unique gift and personal and everything.
Yeah. So anybody want to, request any extra group things that Josh didn't mention? He said WhatsApp, iMessage, and GroupMe, and what else?
Android, yeah.
And Android messaging. David.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I mean, I don't use it, but I know a lot of people are using still Telegram.
Telegram.
Yeah, it sounds like Telegram might be the next one to do.
I'm gonna throw in Discord and Slack maybe too in there.
I've gone in Discord before as well. That's interesting. I've gone in Discord before. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Slack maybe is for the corporate crowd, but that's a big crowd.
It is. It is. I think the next steps would probably be Telegram then Discord. Telegram makes it easy because you can just export. Thank
David
goodness.
is coming in from heaven. Do you want to share a project, Dave? Oh, did he
Coming in
leave?
from heaven. Oh, you mean the
Yeah.
background?
Yeah.
Actually, before I do, I just wanted to like get a little bit into the conversation on this one, because there's so many things to say. I like the product. I like the idea. It's like I have questions, but before I put out the questions, is like what I really love is just one more time, and this isn't unique for this product, it's just a unique product, but what I'm saying isn't unique for the product. Is like I'm always preaching this, though I'm having trouble to do it on my own, is if you believe in something and if you think it's a great product, it's gonna have success. And I'm preaching this for years now, not just like this year, like for a decade probably, because I've seen this. I have to go a little bit into the past. I've been doing web stuff for so long. I know I don't look like it, but I've like 23 years. I've had once, like I was so young, I didn't even know what to do with it. But I had once like something that was then back then featured on Mashable. It was basically at the time where Spotify didn't, well, I think it existed, but people didn't know it yet. So, and I had something like you can listen to music on YouTube. It was called Stream Deck, and it had like for the time being, it had like massive success. And I didn't plan it out for the reason it should be successful. Like the first and primary reason I did it, well, was I tried to solve a problem, right? I hated existing solutions and I just wanted to listen to my favorite music. So I just solved the problem and I made it accessible for other people. And like I didn't even realize back then that, and that's the sole reason why it wasn't successful. I didn't even realize back then how many users I actually had and how many people actually loved the product. For me, it was just like, okay, people are using it, so what? So it was a different time.
Is it because you didn't
15.
prepare for the success that like it you
Yeah, but
got hit?
it was also like I was super young and it wasn't the time we have now. Like we didn't have the tools. We like I had to literally, we had jQuery. That was it basically. So jQuery and PHP. So things were a little bit more complicated, and I was still in university, I think, back then. So it wasn't all business focused. It was just like I did this thing. And but what I'm saying is like I don't want to be too nostalgic about it. Like I'm just trying to get to the gist of it. Is like it could have been successful. It was successful for the time being, and I could have pushed it into a business way if I had known how to do it back then, and if I had like the business mind. But what coming back to this product here is like it again just shows that, quite honestly, if you had asked people before, like I'm doing this, and probably, quite honestly, people would have probably pushed you back, like say like, yeah, nobody wants that. And I just love it. I love the idea. I love seeing it. I'd probably do it for I don't know if I find the time. I want to create a book, but I like the idea. So I just love the fact, like it really. I'm not saying this for no reason. It just really motivates me to see people having success, like really honestly, with something they just loved doing and they were convinced of. Because I know that this works, and this is something, even though I preach it, and that's my last sentence about it, even though I preach it, it's something it's so hard for me to do because I'm like in the middle of a project and maybe not.
But bro, you're underselling yourself. Like what? Like how's the book doing first, and then do you have any updates on like the secret project?
Yeah, a few. But may I ask still some one question to Josh?
Yes, please.
I would like to, well, actually two questions. I would like to know, how did you plan your life around it? Because yeah, well, you quit your job right now, but you developed it before. So how were things going for you? Did you just like wake up and like do your day job and then like do this project? And this is one question. And the second question, more from a technical side, because I'm coming from technical background, probably most of you, is like, what tech stack did enable you to make this as fun and as fast as possible? Not just as fast because if it's shit, it's not fun, but like tech stack plus how did you plan your day?
There, first of all, thank you. I really appreciate the words that you said. You hit the nail on the head. I need your skincare routine. You look amazing, bro. You look super young. And you hit the nail on the head about like it being passionate. And like a few months ago, before, when it was still more abstract and was, didn't really make any sales, I showed it to people and it was, not brushed away, but it's like, okay, maybe people want this. But now that it's doing something, and when you have the passion behind it, and when you're behind the mission and your whole being is in it, and you have an infectious, charismatic attitude towards it, then everybody else gets that as well, and everybody else believes in it. And if I keep adding that personal touch. I put a YouTube video on the homepage, on the landing page, and throughout, and put my face and show that this is a cool, unique product, then it's gonna that stuff is infectious. So what you said, you hit the nail on the head. I can't put any better words. I love your super base content, by the way. And then, so to answer your first question, what was your first question? I was just about
how do you balance the 9 to 5
yes.
with building? Yeah.
Yes. So just a quick backstory. I was living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just moved down to Miami Beach, Florida 4 months ago. And I lived in Pittsburgh my entire life, and I knew I needed a change of pace and I needed a new environment. So I moved down here with my job, and I got approved to work fully remote. It's pretty much that working the 9 to 5, and then all my free time is spent building this. The weekends is spent building this. I don't party, I don't drink, none of that. I always was like that, and I always enjoyed working on stuff a lot. I had probably the best situation you could ever have. Got a point where I was leading the team at my salary position. I could just collect a paycheck. I didn't have to do much work at all. And it was just super, super easy. And I think it was like the perfect amount of easy and comfiness that was holding me back.
Right.
And like now, dude, sometimes you need to put your back against the wall and fight, you know. And I was just too comfy and cushy. The stakes weren't high enough, and I needed to raise the stakes, man. I have money saved up. I can go on a solid sprint right now, you know. The whole hope of this is that it makes more money for me in the long run than my salary position anyway. So that's what I know I can do, and I believe in it. Then it's going to happen. Why am I not doing it today? You know, so that was my
100%.
feeling.
100%.
Yesterday, I had this thing. I'm like, I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to go right after it. And this is just what my heart and soul is telling me. So that's that.
Hell yeah.
And I had a lot of support from the community and like people like Zaid and in my DMs and telling me things and emails I received from customers. I was like, I already seen enough. I don't even need that many sales right now. I don't need that much MRR. I've already seen enough. I need to put in some serious effort, then the sales will come. So that's where I'm at. In terms of the tech stack, I'm building it in Next.js, Tailwind, which I love, and Supabase. I use some cheap like an S3 bucket alternative, Backblaze for all my images and stuff. Stripe for payments. I use this printing company and shipping company called Lulu. I send them the PDFs. They print and ship it to me. I just have a webhook to update customers on production and shipping. Super simple. It's all automated, right? When somebody buys a book, I don't touch anything. It takes money out my bank account, pays the printing company, and ships it to them. What made this? What also is another catalyst to leave is, dude, the way that how fast we can iterate now with like our AI tools. I am building out features and fixing bugs like it's never been more fun to program. It's never been more fun to code, dude. I can build out so much shit so fast. Why am I stifling myself in my company? Then we can't even use Copilot with VS Code in my company, dude. It's like they hate money. They hate productivity. They don't want any 10x developers, you know. And then I'm like, what am I doing here? Fixing, you know, doing this, and I have to answer emails and customers and yada yada yada, and it's just a whole mess with legacy software. Where I'm on my thing. We're here. I built it out. Dude, I can program. You know what I mean? Like that's my strength. The site is clean. It works well. I can program. I know I got the technical chops to do it. It's now just filling out all the other areas. So
Bro, got us amped. We gotta end the call and all go start building right away.
Yeah, that's it. But that's it, David. I really appreciate what you said, and I read your content. I really like it, man. It's helped me a lot too.
That's great. Yeah. Thanks for explaining it, and like makes a lot of sense.
What about you, David? Like, how's the book coming along, and any updates there, and any updates on the secret?
Well, yeah. So I mean, the book is for the people that are reading it, like it's greatly appreciated. So that really helps me. But I've also put a lot of work into the book, so I hope for it. So so that's great feedback that I'm getting there. But it's more like really seeing that people realize suddenly what Supabase is about. That makes me actually happy, because some people just don't understand what it can do, why it does what it does, and it just like, it makes me happy that my book helps understanding what it is, especially in the first chapter. I'm going kind of like deep into the overall idea of it, especially the thought that like it's open source end of day, so you're not locked in by no means, and that's great. And it does help obviously my business in a sense, because well I didn't like quit my job as Josh did, because I have like a I agree though to what he said. Like for example, I'm in a comfy position and stuff like that. I love my job. I think I'm in a great company, but and that's still thing, like if I know that money comes to my bank account every month, even like, not, let's not say I'm not doing anything. That's not it. But even if I'm like doing barely well, say like important things, let's put it like that, this isn't the thing that keeps me going to the peak of the mountain, you know, like
Yeah, the excitement you had from the like when you were talking about your first idea, you like, oh, I was passionate about it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to make it. Like,
exactly.
is there something that is doing that for you right now?
Well, I did tell, so there is something that motivates me right now, because I made the decision to go fully on my own. But since I really like, I've never been in such a like helpful company. Like really, this is a really unique company. So I said to my boss, like, tell me a time where it's good to leave, which is next year, because we have like this big corporate project. But we basically said now, I'll be gone in February, so he can easily migrate, but I will be gone. I will be on my own, and I'm right now in a state already that motivates me, knowing that I will be on my own. And the book helps basically getting my supervised content out there, and basically showing people that it's not just boss. It's not just like, I don't want to mention names, but there's some people out there, they just go like jump on a technology and like do a YouTube video, don't even know shit about it. That's okay. But I'm just like, when it comes to Superbase, I think I can actually help people. I did that, and people actually come to me. I have just like found I just have found like the motivation to do more of that, and I just had to rethink and reflect for myself, how am I going to make money, because I have to, right? I have to pay bills next year. So and the sheer fact that I will be on my own actually already motivates me to work more on my own projects. And my path, that's just my personal path, is I'm going to go on a dual track. So I do want to develop products, but I also love, it's not that I don't trust that I could develop a great product. It's, I just love the fact that I can help so many people. Like literally people came to me, booked half an hour and said like, you saved me a week for Superbase stuff. That literally, that was what people said. And I love that. I also need
Yeah,
that.
so
probably.
definitely the consulting, you know, is it sounds like the consulting
It's something
stuff
on
for
top.
you. Yeah, it has to happen because you have so much knowledge and you're like
Yes.
a thought leader in Superbase and all of that. So that's definitely gonna keep going, and you have to like
Right.
not let it be too comfortable, right? Like, because Josh is what he was saying, like, hey, you know, you gotta sometimes put yourself in a place where like you gotta build. So
Right. And I do
how are
that.
you planning to manage that, you know, the cushiness of the consulting and also building something that you're passionate about? That
Yeah, I'm grinding all day.
yeah,
Really, I do. I
yeah,
do. I have that job that where I'm still helping my boss to get the things done. And then I have to take care of all of the business stuff that's coming, like it's just the tax stuff. That's just one thing. And at the same time, I'm grinding to build that project, that secret project, so to say.
I like
But yeah, I'm working on it every day. You might have seen, maybe not, you might have seen that I pushed out a open source library, which is in alpha right now. But basically, I tried to make my life easier. So I'm not procrastinating. The reason I pushed this library actually is because I'm using it in this project.
Amazing.
And I wanted this project to I wanted to be able to iterate faster. And I know there is React, there's the React library, use React, what's it called, use React hook, use React form, whatever, the most well-known form library. It is great, but I think I can't do faster than that. So so that's how it came to be. And that's basically it's not I'm procrastinating, it's just like the library came out of that project. And I basically have two folders where I'm on one side developing that form library, which makes it much easier to continue with my secret project. And I'm grinding all day. But what I'm missing, and it's with that, I'm ending my part here. What I'm missing is the balance to do proper workouts, because I know for a fact, and that is for everybody, doing sports in whichever kind of way is crucial for long-term health for you, and hence also is crucial for you being able to grind.
I love it. I'm not gonna help you with that one. I need help with that one. Does anybody want to help Dave with how to incorporate more sports when you're just like obsessed with work? And maybe help me out too.
I actually had this similar problem for the past like year or so. And the one thing that I found though is that if you try to like work out or play sports for the sake of being healthy, it's not going to work out. You need to have like a good reason on why you're doing it, you know? I mean, for me, I always try working out because I want to be healthy, but I'd find myself being inconsistent. And I heard this one thing from this guy who told me that you need to change your why on why you're playing sports or working out. Now, for me, I'm like a very religious guy, you know, I do everything for God. And ever since I changed my perspective from to working out for the sake of God, you know, to make money or to give back to people, etc., that's what makes me want to work out more now and etc. You know, because it's not just about me, it's about other people. My health impacts other people's lives. So that's the reason I work out now. And I have been a lot more consistent in my health now.
There's a great view. There's actually great view. So like I have this higher, well, reason, whatever it is, as a motivation for it.
Yeah, find your why. I like it.
Yeah.
Umair, great to finally meet you. You want to share with us your project or something?
Yeah, for sure, guys. Number one, lovely to meet all you guys. It's my first time here. My name's Umair. I'm 20 years old. You could say I'm not really the technical guy. I'm more the non-technical guy, but I'm still learning to code and understand the technical side of stuff. But yeah, a little background to my journey is that I ran an AI agency like last year. We got to work with some big companies. You know, one company that we worked with was called Funding Pips. They do 30 million in revenue a month. So they're like a very big company. We also built an AI appraisal tool for the largest appraisal company in Canada called Acurity, etc. So, you know, we had some good experience. By the way, I have a team with me. You know, I have two co-founders and a designer and another developer. And I realized that, you know, we're super good at building software, but we're building for other companies. You know, why not make our software for our own selves and grow that? Because frankly, the agency model is like, you can make good money with it, but it's hard to scale. You know, you're kind of like a slave to your clients in a sense. So from that, we decided to pivot into building our own SaaS called Phantom. Originally, we built it out to be a productivity tool, but we realized that like our scope is like too broad. We niched down. So we kind of niched down to like productivity for mentors and etc. Now, we're kind of in the phase right now where we're still trying to find product market fit. I'm talking to a lot of mentors out there. They're saying that our idea is good, etc. But you know, everyone says,
What does productivity for mentors mean? What is that?
okay, so the original idea that we had is that there's a lot of mentors that have good content, but there's a big gap between students actually being able to apply that content effectively. So
Okay, can you give an example?
Yeah, so an example is we actually went through a mentorship with a company called Doja, and we learned a lot of good information from them. But the problem was that after the 3 months we were done, we're like, we have all this good information, but how do we actually apply this? You know, how do you benefit out of this? And I think this is a big problem within mentorships is that they teach a lot of good content, but there's no structured approach to actually applying that content. So the whole idea that we have in our heads is that mentors can basically break down their mentorship into a day-by-day structure. That means they can assign tasks every day, and the students have to submit it back every day, and the mentors get data back on it, and etc.
So it's like a project management thing between mentors and student kind of thing.
Yeah, in a sense.
That's interesting. And like, did you test it out? Like, is it a product yet, or are you just still building?
We'll have the MVP done around like beginning of October.
Nice.
And in the meantime, I'm just going out to mentors, validating our idea. A lot of mentors have said that, you know, our idea is a good idea, but I've heard that, you know, your idea is truly never validated until you have customers paying for it.
100%. Yeah.
We don't have customers paying right now. So we want to go a bit farther. Right now, today, I just found out that a big problem is that people steal content from mentors and sell it elsewhere. So today I was kind of going around with mentors asking, you know, is this a feature you would like to see in our MVP and etc. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're still trying to find product market fit.
Do you have a question you want to open up for the community?
Yeah, so if you guys were in my position, what would you guys do?
Can you ask a more specific question? Like what are you having trouble with exactly? Like, is it like, so you're building, right? And you know, you're like, I don't know if this is a good enough market or a big enough market, or I validated it. So do you want like more validation advice? Is it?
Yeah, something along the lines of validation. Like, you know, if you're in my position, you want to reach out to mentors and ask them questions to find product market fit. What step-by-step process would you guys take?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Timmy.
Hi, Umer. I'm good, thank you. So, I'm curious more about the business in the first place. So, is it a marketplace to meet mentors, or is it a better way of essentially passing your content on for people? Like what exactly is the business, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's the second point you mentioned.
Okay, fair enough. And then just your question again, do you mind reminding me what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go ahead, Zaid.
Oh yeah. So how would you go about validating that value proposition?
Honestly, I think in my personal experience, I think the more things you can do that like probably just don't scale, like is the better. Like if you can probably like beg and force someone that you see is like an ideal, I guess you think of who your ideal person is that you'd want on the platform, and essentially like do your best to basically get them to like give you some time. That's basically what I've done so far. So just like find out who your ideal customer is and just try your best to get them to give you some time, essentially. So that's what I do, especially at this very early stage when you're still trying to like build a product. So yeah, that's me.
I like it. So do things that don't scale. We're gonna come back to you, Timmy. I want to hear about your project, but I want more answers for this. Does anybody have any validation ideas? I know Maitri is building a project in early stages too, so she has probably the same problem. Anybody? Alexander?
Yeah.
You know.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for this amazing space. I'm Alex. I'm 37, and I've been in IT like since the early 2000s. And yeah, actually, I'm working on such a product that would help us validate our ideas and our products as soon as possible. I got trapped in this situation. Like I was building so many stuff, so many applications for 20 years. And I never hit product market fit because I built it for myself first. And then I realized when I published the product that nobody is going to use it. And all of us had such a worst experience. So yeah, actually, I'm working like on the application when you can chat with the chat GPT and answer a few questions like who's your target audience, which problems your product would solve, and it gives you 45 pages report with everything you can mention to the application. You can write almost everything, and if you want, I can help you validate your idea. It's absolutely free. It's not a it's not a published product yet. Sorry for my English. I'm a bit nervous.
No, it's fine. I like your idea. Like you're like, hey, you know,
Yeah,
we have Chat GPT, and you can probably ask it to poke holes in your thing.
yeah. The big problem, like one day I realized that I don't have so many friends to talk to them, like, and except my wife, who supported me every time. And
Poor
I
wife,
want,
you're
yeah. Every time when I ask
Yeah.
on Twitter, like, what
Yeah.
you think about this product, people clapped, and I start building this product, and nobody's gonna use it, and I felt so bad. And I find the solution, like, why not to chat with ChatGPT, and why not to like have a conversation with your virtual friend that could help you realize that is it my audience too broad or too wide? Maybe I should focus on some kind of a small portion of people who would like to use my product, and it helped me create a landing page, a pitch deck, evaluate my target audience, personalized guidance, and something like that. So if you would like to test out, please reach me out, and I would love to get your feedback and help you with this amazing report. I do it
Oh,
on
this
my
is
own.
amazing, bro. Like, we'll get back and get like I want to hear you about your project. But for Umair, do you have any advice? You're telling him, hey, go talk to ChatGPT. Is that the advice?
Yeah, no, that my advice, like, if you can propose like your value proposition, who's your target audience, I can build you a report, and maybe you can get some kind of advice or some kind of useful information, because I worked a lot on this product. Maybe it could be useful for all of you guys. Just just here's my
Oh, you're
hand.
saying you have a product that validates ideas. That's what you're trying to
Yes,
say.
yes,
Oh,
indeed,
okay,
correct.
perfect. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll come back and hear about that.
Okay, sure, no problem.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say something real quick, Zaid.
Yeah, please.
There, like getting that first customer is like a huge goal, right? So that's like philosophically, that's what you're trying to go for. You got to treat it like you're like selling door to door back 80 years ago, and trying to sell something is like the same thing as trying to sell something. That's how you got to treat it. You have to go up to customers. You have to go into a business physically and talk to somebody. You have to be sending emails. You have to be doing every single crafty, nifty thing. If it's in person, if it's online, if you're joining communities and sharing, you gotta treat it like almost like you're going door to door and you're fighting for that first customer. So I don't have a specific, action item for your business, but I like the philosophical way of thinking about it is like treating it like you're fighting for each of your first customers. Get crafty with it. Really get out there, engage, and like emails, talking to people in person, walk into a business, talk to people you know in real life. Like,
Yeah, Josh nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it, bro. Like, just to, like build on what everybody's saying, right? Like Timmy was like, you got to go beg for, don't beg, but I get, his vibe. He's like, do things that don't scale. And Josh is kind of saying the same thing. He's like, you got to go door to door. And Umair, you said it too. You were like, hey, the real validation is sales. And that's what I love about what Josh's advice is that Alexander also gave some good like early ways of finding out, which is like talking to Chat GPT and because it's like a second, you can kind of program it to be unbiased and poke holes in your thing and like what if. But at the end of the day, what Josh is saying is the answer. You gotta sell your first product, and until you sell that first product, you don't know if you have a product that works. And you gotta keep trying, and you gotta not, be a P word, you know,
Okay,
and
so
just
I have a small question off of that. Is that, do you think it's possible to sell someone free MVP?
yeah,
Yes.
you can
Yes.
sell.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes,
just
yes,
go
yes,
and
definitely, yes.
100%. That's David saying yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to expand on your hard yes?
Well, yeah. So I actually, this one I
Bro,
actually
I'm in
can
a Zoom. Bro, man, I got so lucky. I love men with
All
bald
right.
heads.
Alex is talking to someone. We muted him.
All right.
Anyways, back to David.
Yeah, that I can actually, like, I know, like, for example, let's make a small sample and let's make a big sample. So I know facts on this one. So the small sample on myself is basically having a customer before the product exists. That was actually how a product came to be. Because someone said, like, I don't want to, like I can tell you I have multiple products in the pipeline, but basically one is about making Superbase self-hosting easier. That's just one. And the thing is, it came to be because someone said, like, I would definitely like give it like $250, like if you like just like the ship fast things, just with the difference that I'm not providing a boilerplate. What I'm providing is less time for you to waste. Like, I actually save you time. That's it, what I'm providing. And there were customers up front, so that's basically, well, it was a bit different because in this case, but I have a different sample. In this case, it was the customer actually kind of reaching out to me, but you have to imagine that it wasn't like an accident. It was more
Bro,
like it was more like the thing that due to my presence on the internet with Superbase, like I got in touch with that person. So that was it. And that's, again, just what Josh said, that's sales. Your presence is sales. So and due to my presence, I got in touch with
bro,
her.
why do you
and
look like Elon Musk?
Can you please mute guys who's not talking?
Does the man with the pink hat?
It's a bit weird because like the name changes all of the time. Might be a scammer, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
No.
I need to see if I can mute everybody.
No, can you remove this bottom person because like the name changes all the time? Can you just kick him?
What's his name?
No, he
Oh,
left.
he's gone.
It's a
Yeah,
scamming person.
I need to figure out how to
Yeah.
make it so people have to raise their hand to talk. I'll figure it out the next time. But anyways, bro, yeah, you were saying like the first
Sorry.
guy kind of
Basically
your
the sales. My presence led to the contact, and basically the contact said, like, it would be great if you would do that, and I'm like, that's a great idea. So, but that's one sample. I want to give you a bigger sample. I know one of the top voices, one of the top influencers in social media about social branding is one of our friend in Germany. And she is literally doing that all the time, like literally. That's the concept behind it. She's literally basically validating products by just putting out a small scale landing page, and hence having customers actually early signing up and actually paying for something that doesn't even exist yet. Hopefully it does exist at one point.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's hundreds of people then validating your idea by telling you basically your 2 copies were convincing enough.
Absolutely. That's kind of where the best way to do it if you don't have a lot of network, right? In the problem market is to have a landing page and not even ask for sign up. Ask them to buy, and once they buy, you tell them, oh, there's no product. Michael, can you get the fuck out of here? What is this? I don't know how
scammer got again.
I'm not admitting anyway. Who the hell is Michael? Anyways, but
it's now
having
Isabel. Can you just kick him?
yeah, I don't know how they're coming in. Nah, I think anyways, but yeah, having people buy before the product is ready is also a fine idea. Like even like when you're talking to mentors, right? And they're like, oh, this is a good idea, and this is whatever. We're like, all right, it'll cost $20. Do you mind putting in a deposit now? And they're like, oh, well, I don't know, like you kind of have to put them on the spot or like ask for, hey, how much would you pay for this? What are you paying for
Put me
this?
on the spot.
Isabel. All right. Okay, so anyways, guys, people don't worry about the people coming in because I don't know how to control it as of now, but next week we'll figure that out.
Aren't you admin? Just asking. Aren't you admin? And can't
I
you,
am
can't
admin,
you
but
kick-
I don't know how to do this stuff.
try kicking me.
Some
Don't,
people
don't.
Some people are like asking to get admitted, and then I admit them, but some people just show up and leave, which is insane. Anyways, but I appreciate the question, Umer. Alexander, you want to share your project with us?
I'm not sure. I can show you the report, like to let you know how it can work. It's disabled. I cannot share my screen.
Can you tell us the story behind it? Not show the tell us like how did it start?
It started like a month ago when I realized I was working on my Web3 marketplace. It's like Upwork, but when you can hire people worldwide using cryptocurrencies, etc., using blockchain stuff, blah, blah, blah. I spent about a year to building such product, to verify everything, to build smart contracts. And then I realized there is no market for this product because people don't trust crypto at all because there are many scammers, So I fucked up and I just realized that I wasted 1 year of my life building something that nobody gonna use it. So after that, I built another product like to validate SEO for the website monitoring tools, and I launched on Product Hunt. I got some kind of feedback, and people were not willing to pay for this product, and it was like free tools. So a month ago, I thought that why not to have a product that could help me validate easily my ideas, like when I can answer like 3 to 5 easy questions, and I will receive a full detailed report. Like it's from ChatGPT. It's okay for me because I don't have so many friends online, and my offline friends, they are not developers, that are not founders, etc. I need somebody to talk to about my ideas. And the only way for me is to chat with ChatGPT. And when I find some kind of queries, prompts, I realized that it could be useful for other people who are so shy to talk to other people, who just want to work in their boxes, in their garage, and maybe who don't want to share their ideas with the other world. And yeah, it's my idea, like you answer the questions and you got your own report, like 40 to 50 pages with almost everything you want to have for free. And yeah, it's what I'm working on right now. I try to figure out who could use this product using my own product.
Did you try selling it?
I'm not yet. Right now, I just try to follow the suggestions which I got from my own product. Once I realized that the whole actionable steps are verified by my own, I can try to suggest this solution to other people. Like I'm the only customer of my product, and I want to verify on my own that it really solved the problem. So right now, I'm just following step by step everything that ChatGPT gave me based on my own request to my product.
But is it working? Is it like, so what step do you start charging people money? Right.
I think there will be 2 or 3 tiers, like the basic report, when you can like put your questions and you get actionable steps. If you want to talk or discuss your ideas with the other people, you can join the private community of builders who can share their experience or something like that. In other cases, if you don't want actually to build your product, but you have money, you can hire a developer who build this product for you. It's like some kind of consulting and development services, but the lead magnet, it's like useful report. Like you can validate your idea without spending any money. Or
I
like
like it. So this is kind of like a product for like people who have MVP agencies. This is like a lead magnet for them, kind of something like that.
Yeah, especially for indie hackers and the people who work 9 to 5 and who wants to leave their jobs.
But in terms of money exchange, right? Like when you want to think about a business, right? And you want to think about an idea that has economic value. You want to think about markets and people who are gonna buy or how are willing to buy this product. And you're saying indie hackers who want to validate, and it's kind of early stage and all of that. Do you think that is the best market to go after in terms of spending money? Like, how much are you going to sell this product?
It's a great question, absolutely amazing question, because for me, helping indie hackers is what I want to spend my life on. I want to help people build their own products and help them. But of course, there are no money because indie hackers are not willing to pay for huge products. I just want to help them with the lowest price. My main goal is to sell this, like, I don't know, maybe consulting services to software development companies who can use this product to help their own customers, external customers, to build a product for them. I don't know. I have no idea how can I monetize it, but currently I'm just trying to validate my own idea. Like, is there any market for this product?
I feel like if you're like, just, if I was like your, strategic advisor, right? And you're like, hey, bro, who the hell is them?
That is the
Yeah, let's just did Dylan get out? Oh, yeah, he got out. Anyways, I locked the room too. Anyways, Alexander, if I was your strategic advisor and you're like, hey, Zaid, all I want to do is help indie hackers, but indie hackers don't have the money, right? I would just build tools for them and like get like a Patreon or something and like be like a sponsored, hero of the people. Hey, support me, kind of like, for example, what's his name? The guy who built Anime.js, right? He built a whole library for animation and you don't have to pay for it. It's open on GitHub. Like you can download it, use it. The animation is spectacular. The docs are amazing, and you just sponsor the guy, right, on a monthly basis. Like I give him $5 a month. Not because I use Anime.js. It's just because he built such a beautiful package. So why don't you think about going down that path of building something like super useful for developers, and then just supporting yourself off of like sponsorships or stuff like that?
I also have a question about the product too, about specifically.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh, and then I'll continue the thread.
Sorry, no, I was just wondering what's the edge of your product over just chatting with ChatGPT itself? Like, what's
probably
your
because he thought about it. Like he thought about these questions that you haven't thought about. Like it's probably the answer. Is that what it is, Alexander, or is it extra?
What actually the question? I don't get
Is
it.
it like
Sorry.
how's it better than me asking ChatGPT to validate my idea?
Yeah, what's the edge of your product? Why is it better than, why would I use your product over just chatting with ChatGPT myself?
Yeah, it's if you know how to use ChatGPT, you don't need my product at all. for me, I don't want to copy paste as many times as I need my prompt and put my my input right there. And I want to give my wife the link to my landing page where she is not a technical skilled, but she has amazing ideas about the product, like pet sitting or something like that. And she could validate their own ideas. And I won't provide the easiest way with fancy UI for people who maybe don't like ChatGPT.
But if they don't know how to use ChatGPT, they probably don't know how to put a credit card number. You know, like you're solving for a market that doesn't, you know, that is not going to spend money online. Like if you're saying I'm making it for like kids and stuff, like it's still not a market, right? So so going back to what you originally, like your original intention, which is like, I just want to help indie hackers because I've been there, I've been building all my life, and I want to just make money doing that. Why haven't you thought about like that, the Patreon, like the being just like an open source, you know, guy who helps people build tools that they need, technical tools, sophisticated tools for sophisticated people, and then just, you know, kind of asking for sponsorships or donations and stuff like that?
It's an amazing question. I really love it because I'm open source guy. I love idea of open source. And if I don't know, how can I say, actually, I'm ready to open source everything I have right now. It's not a big deal. I'm not chasing money. I don't want to be a millionaire, like solving the other people's problems. If I realize that when I realize that this product solved my problems and it's not enough, or there will be nothing to sell to people, I can open source it easily. And like, you can clone this GitHub repo. It's not a big deal for me. I would love to share with my experience, my coding experience, my infrastructure experience with anybody, with all people. It's absolutely amazing idea, and I would love to help other people. But right now, I'm working like for myself. I want to validate my idea using my own product idea. And if I find that it's really useful, if I find that it worked better than ChatGPT, I would love to open source this. But
yeah,
before,
you know, that's a good idea, but you gotta think about markets before you pick a business idea to build and make money off of. You gotta think about, where is the money at? Who has the money? You know, who has my money?
I got you. But you know, I'm not about earning money building my products. If I realize that this product would help other people, like with no money, I would open source it for sure. I'm not wanna build as many paid products as I can, because I don't know how to explain. It's it's complicated.
I wanna just one small note on that. You know, building a product and making money means that people value what you're building and are giving you their money. That means that you're actually now providing value. If it's not making money and people aren't buying it, then you're actually not helping as many people as you think. When somebody gives you money, it's an exchange for what it represents, for the value that you're getting from that. So you actually should be trying to make money. I think like the philosophy, I have look at it a little bit differently, you know. I think you gotta kind of take care of yourself, and by taking care of yourself, you'll be taking care of others, really.
Thoughts, Alexander? I want to hear your thoughts. Levi, I was gonna pit Levi against Josh because I knew he had something. Go, no, yeah, you don't have to raise your hand, bro. Just talk. Yeah,
That's funny. I actually totally agree with him, is what I was about to say. Especially your product is like mostly information, and there's a bunch of studies that show that people really don't value free information. It's just like a weird psychological thing. So often, if you think the information you're giving is valuable and people should follow it, the best thing you can do is charge them money for it, because then they assign a value to it as well, and they're more likely to actually follow through with what they're told.
100%. Alexander.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing idea, but I'm that type of person that I couldn't charge people for something that I'm not sure about. Like, if this product will not solve my own products, I will not charge people for this kind of information. I want to tune the prompts. I want to tune the UI. I want to test it out for my products. And when I find that it's useful, I can share it with the other world. So I don't know how to end my speech.
You don't have
Thank you
to
for
end
your.
it. It's still open because you kind of are opening up a good issue here, which is you're saying if it's useful for me, it means there's economic value in the market, but that's not true, because there might be 10 easier ways and faster ways to prove an idea that are much better than your way, right? And you're just wasting time building something yourself instead of finding out the easier ways of doing something that might be, cost less, you 50-page report. No one's reading a 50-page report. That's so painful, right? People pay to relieve their pain that they're experiencing. And if you can't go out in the market and find a pain that exists, right? Not your personal pain and your ignorance to not find a relief doesn't mean there's economic value, right? But if there is an actual pain in the market that is not being relieved, then that's kind of the opportunity for you to build something and, you know, what I'm saying? Because you're like, hey, I'm trying to validate this idea, and the way to do it is ChatGPT. And it's like, no, the way to do it is put a price tag on it and put it out in the market. And if no one buys it, it's so easy. That's way easier than talking to ChatGPT for 3 weeks and reading a 50-page report. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Jarek,
yeah. I got.
Jarek has something. I'm not sure if that's your correct name, but he was like raising his hand for like 10 minutes, so I just wanted to give him a.
Oh, Jarek, yeah. Come
Yeah,
on in, buddy.
yeah, I would love to chime in, right? Like, I'm not so much of a technical guy. I'm more of a growth marketer. So one thing is that, I believe like what you have is a mindset thing, right? Where it's so easy to just hide behind very safe walls. But like what Zaid has said, it's you have to put it out in the market. So two things. First thing, product first, right? Where I'm coming from as a marketer is that ChatGPT is not my ICP. It's not my customer I'm targeting. I've tried prompting ChatGPT. Yes, they give me ideas of where to improve, how it's good, conversion rate and all, fantastic. I launch it out, crap. I can tell you straight up nonsense. Yeah. My customers are out there, and how I go find them is depending on whether am I doing B2B or B2C. Then I would know where my distribution channels, where I should be, where my customers are hanging out. Then just like what David has or like Levi has said, right? You have to slap a paywall because free nobody would take. Like if you you check me up on Twitter, right? I have a post like everybody asks me, nobody take action, and they ask the same thing, right? And those who execute it, there are one or two who would pay me for it, like and that's the thing, right? So to Joshua's point, which is you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. So think about it, right? If you have cracked your product tool, which is to be able to help indie hackers to validate their business idea, their SaaS product, why you should be charging is because when you take care of yourself, you're now being able to provide better customer support by hiring team. You're able to scale, right? Rather than one-to-one, which you are a finite resource, you're now able to like now duplicate yourself, right? Hopefully that would make sense. We are not asking you to charge, like a fucking mountain, right? To be a millionaire. If that's not your goal, it's fine. But charge enough for you to increase the value that you're going to provide to your customers. You owe it to your customer to give them the best customer experience. Otherwise, they're going to use one churn and you're back to that whole cycle again. Like, and hopefully it makes sense to you, right? So
No, you crushed it, Jarek. And I gotta say, you look like Sagat went to the spa and got some hair treatment. You look 10 out of 10.
The Street
Yeah.
Fighter guy.
Yeah, the Street Fighter guy. You look like, he grew some hair, got his teeth fixed, and was like, let's go. Anyways, bro, you want to share your project? What are you working on, Jack?
Huh? Me?
Yeah. Oh, Levi wants to say something, and then I want to hear what you're doing.
Yeah, sorry. Mine's quick. I just wanted to talk about my personal experience doing exactly that, what Jarek was saying. So my product, I released open source first, and I got a couple of users. It was like 2 people. And every time I would promote it and talk about it, people would be really excited, but nobody was really using it. And then I started charging for a promised pro version, and it was in a pre-sale. So if you bought it that day, you just got access, like you got access to nothing. It was still, I would just be like, hey, use the open source library for now. But the users of the open source library exploded, and I got a bunch of sales. So it's an interesting, like I observed people putting value on something with money attached. And despite it having the same exact features as the day before, it suddenly had a bunch more users. So, and then that allowed me to actually focus on it longer. And now there are a bunch of pro only features, but at first, it was the same product essentially.
Yeah, bro, your question. Do you have any updates on 00? What's going on then? Just daily grind.
Just new features every couple of days, basically. I just added templates. For people that don't know, 00 is like a pay once alternative to companies like Resend or SendGrid or Postmark. So it helps you send emails through your app. And I just added templates so you can like save. You can go into the editor and build an email and then send that email on actions like user signs up or something like that. So just grinding away at stuff like that.
Bro, that positioning statement should be on the landing page. That pay once alternative to recent Postmark and whatever. That should be like sub headline. Yeah. That's sub headline material right there.
True. I should. I need to get a lot better at marketing. That's definitely my weakest point. I've done pretty well just by pretending to be a psycho online. That seems to get a lot of attention. I've become kind of a caricature of myself, but sorry, I didn't want to steal too much time from Jay.
No. Let's open it up, for like marketing ideas. Since you're saying you need to be better at marketing, does anybody have ideas? Jarek is a growth marketer. Do you have any ideas for Levi?
You're on mute.
Oh, sorry, Levi, could you repeat again? I was trying to find something for Alexander. So, yeah.
Yeah, no worries. So my product is pay once alternative, like Campfire, if you're familiar with that, to all of the email SaaSes, like Resend, SendGrid, Postmark. And Zaid pointed out that I don't even say that on my homepage. So basically was just saying, I need more marketing tips. It's definitely not something I'm familiar with, and I'm kind of just winging it.
Yeah. So one of the most recent guys that pop out from that email ERP ESP space would be SendLane. Have you heard of SendLane? So what was the biggest problem for? So basically, SendLane is an email service provider for e-commerce or direct to consumer, right? So the main problem that Shopify owner has was Klaviyo. Klaviyo has very expensive pricing model. So SendLane came. So their marketing strategy, they go heavy on Twitter. They go heavy on sponsoring this brand owners, right? That's doing like 8-9 figures, because that becomes KOL. And then they have their own podcast.
What's KOL, Jared?
Key opinion leaders, right?
Okay.
So in a way is that if, let's say, indie hackers, right now, if Peter Levels come in and say, guys, use my template, watch how many people use his template. His sales just shoots up. So that's a key opinion leader. And you want to find all these people to probably do a white glove service to onboard them, and then you could do a case study, publish it on X, but at the same time having them to experience that positive impact change, right? Then they could publish it
Bro
themselves as well.
crushed it. He was like sniper rifle shot. Bam.
Yeah, so that's how a lot of B2B start playing. Alternatively, if you want to do like B2B paid ads, another guy you want to check out is Alex Becker of Hyros. Hyros is an analytic platform that tracks what server-to-server site. But his pricing model is like what, 350 per month per seat or something like that. But he's crushing it on one paid ads on YouTube, on Facebook. Then he has his own channel helping business to very efficiently spend money. So once again, you see the same thing that repeats, right? Which is you need key opinion leaders from your very top of the funnel. Then I believe like that would be a very great way for you to enter into the market like hot, like really hot. Yeah, you need people who have like experience to or people, like I said, right, idols, right, influencer that people look up to. You work with them, there will be followers that come.
You know, Angelic.
Yes.
Levi, want to comment on that?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely great advice. Most of my sales actually came from Web Dev Cody, if you've ever heard of him. He made a video on it, and that like did wonders for me. So I really need to double down on that. And it's kind of embarrassing. I should be better at that because I used to work for a company that paired influencers and companies to market with them. So I need to definitely do that.
I love it.
And just figure out what that looks like.
Jellic, you want to share what you're working on?
Oh yeah. So very early on in the conversation, it's my MVP,
you were the guy with the $40,000 in the beginning. Yeah, you shared already. Oh, yeah. But you were hidden.
Yeah, so I did 0 to 40,000 MRR within the first 30 days. My MVP is duct tape with Google Sheets and Look Studio. So right now we're building a progressive web app instead of a native app.
Bro, but how it's amazing. Like now it would make sense, the 40,000, because you're like, I'm a growth marketer. I know how to run ads. Like in the beginning, I was like, come on. But okay, so 40,000, and then it's just people are churning out. Are you asking them what they thought they were getting?
Yeah.
And then why they churn?
Yeah. The thing about
that guy.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about churn is that we don't need to ask them. They'll tell us, right? Like, I hate you. Like, you know, you're a Google Sheet. You're not an app. Give me an app, then I'll pay. So we know the main reason. But why we decide to tape it with Google Sheet and slap a paywall is because, like I said, I'm non-technical. My background is like marketing, like straight up marketing. So when I came into SaaS, like I want to quickly validate a product at cheap at little to no money, right? Then once I figure out marketing, I know how to drive paying customers into my funnel. Then I'm willing to like, okay, develop the product, because now I know what my customer want, the problems that they are struggling, what kind of competitors that they have tried out, and you know what make them fear, you know, of trying out us. Is there anything that, you know, we could help them overcome their objection handling? And then like, what's the one feature that they want us to add, right? So we know all this going into developing our product. So
and have you done this before? Because like you know, you're kind of changing my mind. This whole couple of months I've been, you know, changing my mind about this one thing that I'm about to ask you. I always thought you want to do things that don't scale in the beginning to kind of find the winning value proposition, you know, and like when you get like kind of early product market fit from organic, and then you want to put all your money in ads and things that leverage. But you're saying the way you do it is kind of the reverse. You put money up front, validate all the kind of separate pieces with ads, and once that's validated, you kind of build the product out And have you done this before? Like, can you explain that process a little bit?
Yeah. So my most recent one, like, I've done like e-commerce, right? Like, but before that, I validated with like launching a Kickstarter program. Right. Once again, paid ads funneled to email list to get, signups, like what I believe David has said, which is an influencer, a lot of like pre-release, pre-sale, like you say, it works really well. The sales will shoot up one day, boom, and you see like very so like why I chose to go the reverse instead of like doing things that the boring stuff, right, and validate through organic is because like I think one, I have the experience, and I've served my time, I paid my dues in terms of paid marketing to understand like when I first started, it's just $50 ads. And this will help me to like, I'm very not spending thousands of dollars, right? So once you get validation, then you spend more. Why? Is because organic takes time, right? I'm 38 years old with rent and a kid. I do not have time on my side. I need that money. I'm just gonna be honest, right?
But would you recommend it? Would you recommend this approach to someone who doesn't have your experience in paid ads, or do you think that's like kind of your, secret sauce that you walked in with?
Well, it's not much a secret sauce, right? All the resources are available on Twitter, on YouTube, right? But you need to have you need to be able to recognize like, okay, you're not going to develop feelings, right? Because more often than not, like as product owners, like we grow so emotionally attached, like, and it will carry over to paid ads. Like, you know what? Maybe today, none of the potential customers is seeing my ad. I'm gonna one more day. And each day you're going to net negative. Bank account just digging. So don't do that. Like you need to be very like, no mercy when it comes to paid ads, right? Because you are spending your own money, right? Like, yeah. And
I love
it. Yeah, why I choose to do the reverse, it's at the end of the day, I know like, is my product scalable, or is it good at that certain level, right? So I chose to jump straight into to paid ads because I know like I want to validate, can this product do 100K MRR, $500,000 MRR? If it can't,
and is the conversion, like, do you look for a certain conversion rate that means it's gonna pick up, or it's bad? Like, how do you think about that?
Okay, so like to give context, right? We are targeting within Southeast Asia, not in the US. So we have parity pricing, different country, different pricing. So we're maximizing for two things. One, maximum number of customers. Two, the maximum of revenue without having that pricing discourage people who can't otherwise afford our product, right? And when we do that, we are seeing a conversion rate of like 4% across all funnels or across all countries. And our ARPU, our average revenue per user per month, is about $11. Our blended customer acquisition cost is $7.80. So we knew our payback period was like 3 weeks. By the 4th week, we are profitable. So, like
So
based
on the price that you intend to sell that has market acceptance in wherever location, and then you kind of deduct the ad, and if the money makes sense, you're like, bingo, let's go.
Yes,
something
correct.
like that. All right,
correct.
All right, Mohit, thank you so much. If you want to come share your project, you're the last guy to share.
No. Hi everyone.
Hey,
No,
Mohit.
like I don't have any personal project. Just working a job, work from home. Yeah, doing that. Like making my projects, but like watching YouTube tutorials and working on them. Like not
Early
some
stage.
personal project. Yeah, very early stage.
All right.
Right.
Okay, then yeah, keep joining us. You might get some inspiration. And
Yeah.
ask questions if you have any, like, like if you're testing some stuff out, testing some ideas, share them on the community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We'll join next time full. Need to wake
Absolutely.
up
Do you have
early.
any questions
It's
for us?
late here.
Do you have any
No,
questions?
right? today I don't have any questions. Next week
Okay.
definitely, because tomorrow it's late here in India, night time. Need to wake up early tomorrow. So yeah, we'll definitely next time, definitely.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for
Thank
joining. Does anybody want to
Oh,
say
so
anything?
yes, please.
Yeah, David, let's go.
So two things. Like, I would love to come back real quick. Once to Jarek and once to Levi, because was a great information that Jarek shared. I just wanted to quickly grasp if I or quickly get back to the initial question. Yes, because I'm not sure if I could grasp it. Like it was somewhat you right now provide somewhat like users come to a Google Sheet when they have paid. If I got it correctly, sorry if I missed it, but I didn't even get like what's the Google Sheet about, and then like you said you want a progressive web app. Like I have experience with progressive web apps, but I didn't get the part with why why are you hesitating to use a native app, or like is there a reason, and what's your like what's the let's just talk about what's the target solution. So maybe just like quickly explain what's in the Google Sheet, what do users get when they pay, and what is the target goal.
Okay, so the Google Sheets user get like a budget tracking template that they can duplicate, right? So with the PWA, it's the same thing, but it's no longer a Google Sheet.
Okay.
Why we choose to pursue PWA instead of like a native like iOS app is because we're not really targeting the US, right? So you know, out of US, like in Eastern Europe, in Southeast Asia, there are a healthy number of like Android users. And the next thing it's, you know, I think PWA is having such a bad reputation. Nobody is truly representing them well enough. Like I believe with a good onboarding flow to help them to understand that they could actually save the icon to home screen. If onboarding flow, we can nail it in. I think it's an app. It has push notification. We can remove the main like search bar. And because I'm cheap, I don't want to pay that 30% Apple fee. Yeah. So a lot of factors that I consider. Yeah.
Understood. So basically, let me just like just a high level idea on this one before I jump to Levi. Is as you can't really like the moment it's there, right? It's like essentially a fronted app, so you can't really protect it in the sense from what I understood. But in the same way, you can't protect the Google Sheet, so they can duplicate it as well. So that it's not about protecting it. So basically, you could do like a really simple thing where they just come to a one-time, it doesn't even have to be a one-time hash, like it can even be like a secret URL where they're being forwarded to, and at that secret URL there's like this hey, if you're clicking this button, like before you reach it, if you're clicking this button, this is what you have to do, like add to your home screen, depending if it's iOS, do iOS detection, then make iOS screens, and if it's like Android, do Android like screens, and then they're just being forwarded and they know what to do. So that would be the easiest thing, because you can duplicate a Google Sheet as well. So I wouldn't care too much about protection. So I think that would be the easiest, like forwarding to a secret URL and then like just prefacing them with the instructions, I guess.
Preface URL, the instructions, but that's why like earlier on I was asking Zayed, is there like a one-click onboarding flow that I could create, right? Instead of like custom code it up. So that way I could like,
but I think that one you can actually, if you, I'm not sure if you do know V0, but I think that one you could actually probably pretty easily do with V0 and ask it like, please write me that template, and it should look like, I don't know, iOS icons or whatever. So try that out, v0.dev. I think you can prompt that, so it wouldn't be too much of work.
Oh, great tip. I love it, David.
Sure thing. And then just to quickly come back to Levi. Sorry, I've written it down, just a sec. I had a wild idea whilst Jarek was talking. Actually, I'm not sure if it's actually a good idea. I'm just putting it out there. I was thinking, like, when Jarek explained about like even this Kickstarter thing and basically then getting people on board and doing the marketing up front, I was thinking that if you would treat your product, which some companies have done, if you would treat your product on a like just continue doing it like you do on Axe whatever right now, but I was thinking if you would treat it like a new product, for example, say like there's, even if it's just like 2 or 3 new features, but if you make it like a big splash version 3 or version 2 or whatever, so and treat it like a new product, you could actually do the whole marketing exploitation on Google on the marketing stuff, like, and collect even a wait list for the new product, like this is free version 3 whatever, and then like get people excited for it as if it's a completely new product, although it isn't. And then just like say, oh, and by the way, now I'm running a 50% discount on it, like on the wait list that you created, even though it's like the same product, but you act like it's a new product. So it was just an idea that I had. I don't know.
That's a good idea. I actually have been thinking, so it's in pre-sale still. It doesn't have like what I deem feature complete. So I was going to treat that as a new launch, like when it's out of pre-sale. But I probably, honestly, like I just launched, well, not the most recent feature, but like 2 features ago was this editor that was kind of a big deal. Like it really changes the product from like API only to being able to create emails with the UI. And I've kind of been kicking myself in the ass for not treating that like it was a bigger deal and doing a product launch again and stuff like that. So I think that's a solid idea for sure.
Hell yeah.
And then second thing, then I'm done, is I think Levi, it's Levi, right? Levi.
Yeah, like the jeans.
Yeah. So Levi is doing a great job, like with this character he told us about. At least I think so. And there's basically an open question to it, because I'm having trouble giving myself such a character. I always like my first rule for myself is that I don't try to be someone else. So I try to be authentic, and authentic also means that, for example, like nobody interacted with that one, but I kind of like fooled Guillermo from Vercel when I wrote like fuck off security. So basically I'm not, probably no one has seen it because it had like no interaction, but I said like, you don't need security, just expose all your keys. That's what I said. Because before Guillermo said something like, you basically CDNs don't work, and I was kind of like fooling him. But the thing is, that's me being authentic because I don't like bullshit, right? But at the same time, I'm having some kind of issue, and let me tell you what it is. I'm in the bubble where I'm a Supabase expert because I think it's a great product, and actually the CEO is great. I know him personally. Like, I haven't met him in person, but I know him personally, and he's a great guy, and he's super authentic, and he's full open source, everything. So the problem is, however, if you know how things are connected, it becomes a bit twisted, because there's a good reason why Supabase always promotes recent, right? Levi knows. End of day, they're kind of all of the same investors. So even Vercel. So when I'm trying to be authentic and making a fool of Guillermo, I know for a fact, it's not like I don't know. I know for a fact, or at least I'm thinking, it can harm me, because I know for a fact that Paul or whoever, they won't share this. They won't share this because Vercel is in the same bunch of, in the same pot of investors. So I'm kind of like, my question is, I'm having trouble being authentic because I don't want to, sorry to say, but at one point, I think like for me being more successful in the Superbase sector, I have to lick ass, which I don't want to. So it's weird. It's something that really drives me crazy. I'm always telling myself, well, don't criticize Guillermo, don't criticize Reese. And I'm like, but I can't take bullshit. So
Yeah,
Let's go.
that's a great question. And I could honestly talk about this for like ever. We should probably connect after this call too. But
This call can
yeah,
go long, bro.
okay. Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack there. Like, first, let me address that they are all in the same pool. And it's interesting because I really like Superbase too. I use it on one of my products. The only thing I don't like, the only complaint I would even have about them is that they completely pause your free tier projects, which is like a frustrating way to handle that. But you got to make money, right? I think at this point, maybe they should just like ditch the free tier or make it like a testing only thing because I think people get frustrated with that. But not to get lost in the weeds there, it is really weird because they are bundled, like you said, with companies I vehemently hate. Like I really hate Resend. I think they're grossly incompetent. I think, yeah, like that company out of all of them, I disliked them so much it inspired me to like make a product to fight them, right? And then I also have a lot of issues with Vercel. So I've kind of, and I'm nowhere near as tied to Superbase as you, so I can see where that like conflict would get really messy. The thing is, and you probably have to ask yourself this: you don't need Pat. Pat's the CEO of Superbase, right?
Paul.
Or Paul. You don't need him to share the content because he's going to have that same internal conflict, right? But if you know him personally, maybe he's the type of person that values authenticity high enough to not care or try to tell you what to do, just because you're involved with his product. If he's that type of person, then I would say just go wild. Like don't expect him to share it or promote it, but
yeah,
feel confident to say that stuff.
Can I ask you a different question, like this similar, Levi?
Sure.
Like, what if the question was, you know, should I attack these people out of authenticity or play ball to try to win them over so that I can make money? Like, how do you make
Yeah.
that trade-off?
Good question. So I used to be a Next.js consultant. So I was kind of in a similar position as you, where like for, I would say about 2 years, I started to really hate Vercel, but I didn't talk about it. And I felt like I was playing ball to keep making money. And I think that there's value to that. Like now I've had a couple of people reach out to me about possible consulting gigs and they're like, will you even work with Next anymore? And I'm like, of course I will. Like I've been doing it for 10 years. I kind of have to, if I want to put food on the table. Right. So I've definitely, put an image out there that at least makes people hesitant, about the type of work I used to do before. So you have to be aware of that, I guess, and you have to really ask yourself if it's worth it. For me, it was worth it for a couple of reasons. One, my contract started drying up just due to the market, so it became less lucrative to keep playing the game with kid gloves on, essentially. And another thing, I think what really like made me pull the trigger on acting like a complete psycho online is I've always been aware that the internet really values authenticity. And it goes through these weird cycles. Like when I was younger, when I was in high school, YouTube blew up because people would go on there and just record themselves like we're doing now. And people were like seeking that. And then that was kind of like money came into it and it became polished and weird and YouTube, the Mr. Beastification of YouTube happened where it's like you don't know anything about like Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast, you know, like he is a character of himself. And that kind of caused this wave where authenticity wasn't winning anymore. I think we're back in an era, and it's mostly prompted by AI being so ubiquitous or whatever. It's everywhere. I think people are really seeking authenticity again, and it's a weird, scary time we're in because these AIs can pretend to be authentic for you, and people are betting on that. So I think one of the biggest signals that you are a real person with real thoughts and you're sharing what you really think is when you will attack these sacred cows.
But to
Because AI
Jarek's
is
point,
not.
like when he says, "Hey, you want to make a lot of money? Find the leaders and pay the money to like shout out your thing, or like, you know, hit them with like a kind of social campaign if you want to do it organically, not to lick ass, because it's not about appeasing, right? It's about strategically capturing the thought leaders' retweet or support or endorsement, right? So
Yeah.
it's not the hey, you know, the fear and the appeasement. You know, it's how do you get them, how do you bait them into promoting your stuff, even if it is the villain way,
Yeah.
you know, which works, but it still has to be like from like a strategic angle. And like, how do you think about that trade-off? You know, like at what point are you gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna ignore this influence that people have already built, right, and not leverage that, and just go on my own? Because you can be a villain in a way that gets notoriety, or you can be a villain in a way where you get shut down.
Right.
So
Yeah.
how do you think about that?
Good question. I actually think it goes back to what I was saying about authenticity, because there's this like phrase, your vibe will attract your tribe, right? And I talked earlier about web dev Cody sharing my video. That guy, I never watched his videos before. I don't really watch coding YouTubers anymore. But I would kind of attack Vercel and these other people. And he started replying to my tweets, kind of expressing the same sentiments, right? So that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't saying what I really felt. I think that the value of just sharing things you actually like deeply believe in is that you will find other people that deeply believe in those and are excited about it. And a lot of those people have huge audiences. And I think it's more about it. People work on it backwards. I think they're like, oh, Levels.io has this huge audience. How do I get Levels.io to talk about me? Levels hates me. He's not going to talk about me. So I need to talk about the things I believe in and find other big creators that believe in those same things. And then it's easy. Then people love community, really, and people love having their own ideas validated.
Authenticity, influence, or fit is kind of what you're trying
Yeah,
to say. Is
yeah.
like, yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, but that's the difficult part here, which is why I was thinking, should I continue certain things? Well, certain ones, yes. So if you find people, like you said, like for example, who just like are bothered, right, by, for example, like right now, be a postmark being down, and they can resonate with that. I just have this problem, like reflecting now, when you said all of this, is like, I have the problem that not many people resonate with some of the deep topics that I'm talking about, because not the target group doesn't even go that deep. For example, I know for a fact, and this is why like, I use Next.js every day, every week, right? So it's not that I'm not using it, I'm criticizing it because I'm using it.
Yeah, same, actually.
And that's the thing. I am one of the rare people that actually have seen the source code, and it's shit. It's really shit. Like the actual Next.js source code made me want to think if I want to use that framework in the near future, because using it as a developer is great. You have all of these tools, you have Shadzy, and you can quickly pull up stuff. But then when you look at the source code, and this is why where I'm coming to the content. So when you look at the source code, it's really so like they put so much work into marketing, and I tagged both Lee the DevRel and Guillermo the CEO multiple times to just like, I really wanted to get in touch with them. I even told them like, you can talk to me if you want. Like I told them I'll be there if you want to talk to me, but they didn't. And then I did one thing, because that's me being authentic. I just want to know, am I the problem or am I expecting too much? So I actually went to employees of Vercel. In public, no one agreed. No one confirmed what I said. But in private, everybody confirmed that the Next.js source code is shit. All of the employees, well, it wasn't much. It was like 3 people or so, but they said they know. And even kind of the CEO said they know it's a problem in a very diplomatic way. But coming back to the actual content, the thing is, I'm criticizing something that no one can resonate with, because people are just using Next.js, I guess, and they think it's a great product, which it is. Like the final product is kind of using it is kind of a great product. So probably that's the problem. I'm attacking them, not because I want to attack them, but because I want to make the product better. But no one can resonate with that, and probably that is something I should not do, because it doesn't help. I can put it on my blog, that's all right, but it probably doesn't help on social media, because no one looks at the Next.js source code, for example.
I would have to get more familiar with the type of content you make, but something I'm thinking right away, and this is kind of based on something Zaid told me on Twitter the other day, which is like, you can say a lot by just implying it, right? And you can attack these companies by promoting the things you like about Supabase that they're not doing, right? So if you've seen Supabase's code and it's really good, you can talk about that. And you can structure it in a way that's like, some of your tools are a mess under the hood. Supabase isn't, you know?
Yeah, to
and
speak
I
on
think,
that, sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, I just, to jump in real quick, but copywriting matters. The way, like the impact and entertainment of what you post in general, whether it's video, whether it's writing, whether it's anything, matters. Anyways, continue.
Awesome. Yeah, and to kind of continue off of that, I do want to say that attacking people directly is really hard to do right. And I've done it a lot. Basically, the whole time I was on Twitter, I've always used Twitter as this like void for me to scream in, right? And it didn't really start resonating with people until recently. And my account was like 200 followers for like 8 years or something. And now I'm closing in on 2K. And that all happened in like 3 months. So it took me a long time to learn how to attack people correctly. And one of the things that I think you did well, and it might just take more time and more doing it, is you said you attacked Guillermo as a parody of himself. And I think there's so much value in that, because it's so hard, especially on Twitter, but really on the internet in general, to change anyone's mind by like presenting sound arguments. They typically don't even read it, and then they just argue back with you, and you can tell they haven't even read what you wrote. And it's so frustrating. And that's how I spent most of my time, just arguing in circles with people like that. And recently, I've really been seeing the value in humor, because people will disagree with you and laugh at what you said. And that is like the movie Inception, when you just plant the idea, like you just put a little seed of doubt in their head, and you're like, you need to let them go run with that. And there's kind of another like example of this in the real world is like the court jester, right? He was allowed to make fun of the king, and often he did so in a way that would present the ideas of the common people to the king, in a way that the king could receive. And that's the value of humor, is like people mistake humor for niceness, which is a really interesting thing about like human psychology. So you can be mean and funny at the same time, and people are like, this guy's great. This guy's so awesome.
But it's the categorization, like that you like, to kind of back up what you're saying. You know, the court jester had another role, not just making fun. It's people can
Right.
identify him as the court jester.
Yeah.
You know, he wore a costume. It wasn't just anybody going up to the thing.
Right.
It was like, you know, hey, you know, look at your pants. They're so fancy.
Yeah.
You know, like he
Right.
actually had like an identification, which you do well with the mask and the,
Yeah.
you know, the fake name and all of that. So even if you want to play yourself, because in the end, nobody knows you, David. You know, like nobody knows who you really are. So you're like, oh, I want to be authentic, but nobody actually knows who you really are. So whether you like it or not, you're playing a character online, you know, and the clearer that character can be to, you know, a stranger, like, hey, this is this guy, he talks about these things, whether it's what you call authenticity, which is like calling out people, he says it in a funny way, like Levi, you know, like, and we're all learning, you know, we're all trying to kind of, you know, distill our best kind of characteristics and amplify those, and you know, so it's a process, you know. I just want to chime in with that.
Yeah, it's also funny that you mentioned doing like a parody of Guillermo on his CDN tweet, because the day before that he tweeted about coming into the office, and I made a parody video of that. And yeah, I think that's the right way to go about it if you're gonna do it. But like Zaid said, people need to know that's what you're doing. Like you need to make it very clear. And yeah, if you don't know me, on Twitter I have an MF Doom mask on, and I put that on because I was talking a lot of shit on Twitter, and people would DM me and be like, "You're not going to get jobs this way," and I like weird, just like advice they're throwing at me like that. So I wanted to be like, I want to make you feel silly to say that to me. Like you're saying that to a guy that has a cartoon mask drawn on his face. Like I'm not looking for jobs on Twitter. And kind of like shrugging off that. This goes back to the original of like playing the game for money. Shrugging off the concern of doing that has really opened up a lot of doors for me, and I've met people that I wouldn't have met otherwise. So it's one of those things where we kind of like put ourselves in these cages where we're convinced we have to do things a certain way, and people will even tell us we have to do things this way, and they're just wrong. Like people really don't care that much about your internet personality when making hiring decisions. Sure, like companies like American Express might like go through a weird background check where they learn everywhere you've ever eaten dinner and make a decision that way, but
yeah,
a lot of people don't.
What's your reaction, David, like to all of this?
I mean, it's a lot of topics, but end of the day it makes sense. So I'm trying to I'm trying to reflect more before I write. Also like realize is this making up an image? Like I was thinking of an image, like is this making up an abstract, like an actual image? Is this making up an abstract image? Abstract images can be nice, but you don't know really like where it's going, or is it making a clear picture? And I think I need to draw a clearer picture of myself more times, because just I find myself too often like in the agitation mode when like stuff like, I know how things happen, like when Guillermo posts about CDNs are not working, I know where it comes from because I know what business he does, but I should reflect and be like, what content will actually help my overall picture, such as like what Levi said. Like I could have said like, did you know that CDNs in Supabase are great, something like that, right? Instead of just saying like, well, or the humor thing that I did, even though it didn't get interaction, but instead like, dude, the fuck, you know, like
Yeah,
no
impressions
one
are
will follow.
interactions though. Like people who see it, it is an interaction. They are seeing what
Yeah,
you
there
post.
weren't much
So
though on that one. There weren't
okay,
much. So
yeah,
so
but you want to be the
um,
voice of the opposition. That's how that kind of gets traction. Like Levi does, you know, he's doing a great job. Like the running thing, I'm surprised it didn't get as much engagement.
yeah,
That was
true.
so funny. But you have to represent that voice, you know, and the more people you represent, you know, with what you're saying, because that's how people see posts. It's all writing is hypnosis, you know. All writing
That's
is
true.
people reading it and then they're like kind of vicariously living through that post. They're like,
Yeah.
this is me talking, and you
Yeah.
gotta not break that spell, that hypnosis, you know,
Yeah.
in what you said.
And it is correct that what Levi also said is like, I mean, we all know this, but just to highlight it once more, is there's not much. I mean, I'm not sure if you do that too often, but there's not much sense in actually, or not much value in actually back and forth arguing with people that disagree with you, because for example, like I think I did 3 blog articles on actually stating why the source code is bad, like not just stating an opinion, but actually saying like why it was bad. And I got answers like, yeah, but all big source codes are bad, which is just wrong. It's just wrong. Right. If you look at how Supabase is structured, it's just wrong. Like they can kind of like, I'm not saying they're there's no perfect code base. That doesn't exist. On that we can agree on. There's no perfect code base. But there are code bases that are maintainable, and Next.js is not one of them. And long story short, I shouldn't get into a discussion with people that disagree with me in a comment, because they won't even start to follow me, nor will someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's huge. And I'm still not good at that. I argue with people all the time because I like to argue. But I keep trying to tell myself not to. And something I really try and do, so, and this might resonate with you. Sometimes I would write stuff and then people would post this huge dissertation on why I'm wrong, and it would feel like an attack on my credibility. So I would have to defend my credibility. But a lot of people don't even read those comments. They don't read the first one. They don't read your response. He or she, whoever they are, isn't really going to damage your credibility with some internet comment. If they actually write a response and they write a blog post, top 10 reasons he's wrong, next is amazing, and then that takes off, then you might want to respond to something like that. But just random keyboard warriors like trying to attack you with no, usually they have no facts either. Like you said, they just say every code base is like that. No, it's not, man.
And people have short memories, even if you're big. Like I have like one of the guys on Twitter got attacked by Peter Levels. People forgot that he got attacked by Peter Levels, because he had like a PFP of a beer, and Peter was like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And no one cares. And whatever it is, no one cares. Like going back and forth with people on the internet is the worst idea you can ever do. It never leads to anything good, anything beneficial.
Yeah. I try to tell myself only. Oh, sorry. One more thing. I try to tell myself only to respond to comments like that if I think I can have a funny response. Because I do think there's value in that. Other people see that, and then they're yeah. So if you read something and you go, oh man, I can really fucking give it to this guy, do that. But don't just sit and try and debate your own credibility for the sake of giving these people attention.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's a great way to think about it. If you can respond in a way that kind of makes it funnier, then definitely do that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining, everybody. It was great to meet Alexander, Jared. Please share your stories more on the community, building public, and always a pleasure, David Levi.
That
Uh,
was really great. Like the whole thing from start to end. Like it was. Honestly, like I've been to meetups, like in the amount of time, like the value per time was huge. To be honest.
That's awesome.
Totally
Anybody want to
agree.
say anything before they leave?
Sorry.
I'll stay until everybody leaves the call. But
Yeah, I want to say thank you to all of you guys. It was my first time ever experience to participate in such spaces. It was absolutely huge for me, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was amazing.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. Jarek, my man, are you gonna go kick some people in the face? What's going on? You're muted. You're muted. Let me unmute you. That's the unmute.
Oh no, like Umar was commenting like some Naruto, it's some cartoon thing. Like it's just some
That's so funny, yeah. Yeah, Jitsu.
yeah.
Yeah, bro. No, thank you so much for your contribution too. Cause like, we're a bunch of nerds, like, and having someone like you, join and share some like ad stuff, that's very helpful.
No problem. Anytime, man.
It's great.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Levi, thank you so much for sharing also your experience. And it's always a pleasure, obviously.
Same, man.
All right. You guys leave. I can't be the guy who
All right,
kicks
see
you
you.
all
Cheers,
off.
guys.
So you guys need to leave.
Cheers, guys.
All right. Bye, guys.